So the movement back in the 20s, in the 30s, in fact, all the way through, from the 20s all the way up to 2000, what's this, 13 or whatever. You've always had this idea that some blacks had the notion that the yellow blacks were better than the darker blacks. The light skinned blacks are better than the darker blacks. In some cases, maybe they were. But in a lot of cases, they weren't. Because you have a lot of cases when the white fathers did not recognize their uh, high yellow children. They're sleeping with the maids and they're sleeping with the black women down in the bottom, and they don't recognize their black kids. And they didn't send them any money and this and that and all this stuff and all this. So what happened? Their mentality is no different than the black kid down in the bottom in the hood. Just because they're light don't necessarily mean their mentality with the second group is any better. So the high white guy who support his black kids, he don't he don't have around his wife and his regular friends up here or whatever. But he sneak down and give his black girlfriend some money and all this and all that. And those kids did pretty good, but there were some who didn't. And so you got two high yellow kids here, and one of them are getting support, the other one not getting support. So the mentality and the socialism and all this stuff is hard to. It was hard to define who's who and what's what from a outside perspective. From an inside perspective, a lot of these kids perceive themselves to be better than the black ones, but a lot of them didn't. The ones that didn't get any support from their white fathers didn't. In fact, they had maybe uh, uh, anti attitudes against their fathers who didn't support them. So what do you got? You got this mixture. Just because I'm light skinned don't make me better. And it's not enough of them to really make a separate race, because they have all these different mixed feelings and mixed attitudes, and it goes on and on and on and on. And a lot of them are just confused. Uh, so here we are with a bit of, on one end of the scale you have the hard dark blacks. On the other end of the scales you got these what we call high yellows, or in fact they look pretty close to white. They're high they're high yellows. Some of them perceive themselves to be better, and some of them don't. Some of them are better because they went to better schools and they got some money and this and that, and their parents, their white parents or their white fathers, you know, looked after them in more than just money. You know, well, we're going to send you to you know, the better schools, and we're going to support the better black schools so my kids can go to university and all of this. And this is why a lot of black universities early on were established and were financed over a long period of time. And still to this day, they are established and they are financed primarily because of these white fathers that supported these black high schools, upper high schools, and universities. But the darker ones are catching up or have already caught up, and you got a lot of things going on. But if you look in your black community now, you would see all kinds of things going on. You got a lot of athletes that's making serious money. You got a lot of music people, singers and dancers and all that that's making serious money. You have a lot of academics who have serious money, and they are putting their black kids into college, and they are making serious money. And so we really, to attack the bigger problem, we as a group can move forward and attack the bigger problem, because the other races, they still look at us as being, we're all black, which is good, because what does that do? That solidifies our situation, because we're all black. Now we can move as a unit, and we see ourselves as a unit, or they see us as a unit. And now that we have a lot of power, we have a black president, and we have to look at our black president as we, even though some of us perceive this guy to be, well, he ought to be doing this and that rather than this and that and all this stuff, but he's black, and even if he's half white, we as blacks look at him as being black, or the rest of the world look at him as being black, or our interpretation of the rest of the world looking at us as being black. And we can use this to our advantage, to our forward movement. So if we approach our position as being we, rather than them and they and all that, well, I'm black, I'm better than that one because I'm lighter than that one. Maybe we ought to look at the thing in an economic perspective. Who's got the money? And who's got the power? I might be black, and in fact, I might be blue black. Who's got the money? And who's got the power? And there are other elements in this mix that we need to look at. And that is, there's a lot of Africans and black Africans and islanders coming into the country, and they are changing the dichotomy of what's going on. And our attitudes are shifting because this socialism is shifting. And we're going to take a quick break because we do 9 minutes, and we'll come right back with the Black Woman 4.